Good evening. My name is Jake. I'm a geek tech for Sisu Tech Services. Beauty and the Beast. I'm the Beast half. Beauties. Not here with me right now. Probably sell the computer a lot faster. But anyway, I digest. Okay, digress. Showcasing this Toshiba satellite. 650D. Now, this was a computer that was originally made in 2010, and it was a good computer in its day. It came with a dedicated graphics processing unit, the GPU it's called, so it could play more expensive games at the time. Conservative computer. It wasn't like top end or anything, but but it was reasonable. And then under Windows, in a pre-planned obsolescence sort of way, they bogged it down until it became slow and unusable. And now with Linux, which is a scary word for a lot of computer users, the typical average computer user doesn't really know what Linux is or what it's all about. It performs flawlessly. It performs really good. It does everything that a higher-end computer can do when it comes to, watching YouTube, and maybe not with the same high definition as some of the newer computers, but for the typical average computer in a Windows environment, it boots up at about the same speed, unless, of course, it's not plugged in, because then Linux will go into ultra-efficient battery mode, and things will take a little longer to get started. But when it is plugged in, it's reasonable, on par with a brand new computer. Some of you go in, my computer's not going to boot up any faster if they haven't spent a lot of money. So 4 gigabytes of RAM is lots for a Linux computer. And 160 gigabytes of hard drive, same thing, it's lots. With 160 gigabytes, it can download thousands of games and apps. And I've already pre-installed it with about 100 games and apps that you might be interested in using. I've included Wine, which is Windows in a native environment. It's configured so it can run Windows programs. And I'll give you a sample of that. I'll give you a sample of the video, just so you have an idea of what to expect from this marvelous little machine. Now, there isn't a scratch on it. It's totally refurbished. It's got good battery life, especially under Linux. The boot time might, take a little while, but don't let that daunt you, because Linux is one that's got a swap folder, so you can hibernate. Stores your information in there, and let it, instead of powering it off, it lasts a very long time, and then you just open it up and you're right back in. Okay, so I'll go to a web browser first, and we'll start with the video. So yeah, I could talk quite a bit about this computer. Under the AMD processor, they have really struggled under Windows environments of late. Updates have practically killed them. Under Linux, they're strong processors. They make excellent use of the resources. There's a faster loading web browser in here. It's called Chromium. I'm used to using Firefox, so I use Firefox. And it's very usable. I mean, like I said, for an older PC, an inexpensive PC, you can get quite a bit of mileage off this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and type in YouTube here, and you'll see it's totally useful. It's got Office programs, lots of games, all kinds of stuff on here already preloaded for you. And what do you want to search for? There's a new Godzilla movie out, so let's see the trailer. Godzilla trailer 2019. And searching. Here it goes. And there's the trailer. Alright, so I don't need anything that long, that's fine. we don't have to watch the whole thing. I'll put it in full screen so you can get an idea of what it would be like to watch a movie. Oh, that's an ad. Okay, what is an ad? You can put ad blockers for YouTube if you want, but it just gets problematic. Pet Cemetery, a remake, another reboot of an older movie. Oh, thanks. YouTube without the ads. Must have heard me. Oh, okay. What do we got for volume here? That's up. And volume is which one on this? 40%. Oops. I accidentally clicked mute. I'm used to using a mouse myself. You probably tell.
We believe that these titans are just the tip of the iceberg.
I mean, you know, it's quiet here. I'm by myself. I gotta turn it down a little bit. But you can see that's certainly playable. I mean, you can watch a movie on that. It's like VHS quality. If I move it up to high definition, it'll lag. Unless I make the window smaller, then it'll speed back up again. But it's definitely playable.
So you'd want to make Godzilla our pet? No. We will be his.
Okay. So, I'm going to close the Godzilla trailer and move on to the next level of this demonstration. Okay, so I suggested that it could play Windows programs. So go back to the home screen. I've done some pre-configuring for the Firefox web browser. I've taken the pop-up notifications off that I find terribly annoying. And anyway, so let's go. How about Photoscape? I haven't tried this before. Photoscape download for Windows. Alright. Cool. Photoscape, free editing software. Yeah, it was here. I didn't download it yet though. Okay, so free download. Okay, so download. Off it goes. Takes us to another page. Now, Linux is really good at being on the internet with security and with stability without worrying about viruses and spyware and malware and all that sort of thing. It's very elegant system that way, where Windows is like Band-Aid after Band-Aid. There's always a way through. Your download will begin in a moment. Alright, so we're waiting. If it doesn't, restart the download. Restart the download. There it goes. Okay, so anyone who's used a Windows program before has recognized the .exe format, which typically Linux doesn't handle, but this has Windows installed. So I'll go ahead and save the file of Photoscape. Now it's over here, and we're going to follow it along. And we're going to open the containing folder. This is the quickest way. There's a file manager included with this too, but this is the okay, Photoscape. Oh, there. See, I started twice. Clicked on it twice. Photoscape setup. Okay, so now in Windows, there's a difference here. If I just double clicked on it, I don't know what would happen. But that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is I want to right click on it, and I want to open with Wine Programs Loader. Okay, so when I do that, then it recognizes this as a Windows program, and it'll handle it differently. And you can configure your settings in Windows to determine which version of Windows you want it to run. Or emulate, or whatever, compatibility thing. So, we will let that run. And get set up. I see it's thinking. So, what else could I tell you about Linux? It's been a massive migration away from Windows. There's been all kinds of... Okay, so this is a install utility, right? Saying Photoscape is provided free of charge. Great. Fun and easy photoing software enables you to fix and enhance photos. Sounds perfect. I agree to install. Now it's suggesting install Google Chrome as my default browser. Well, yeah, that could get a little problematic because we're going back and forth between the Windows program and... But that Google Chrome is available in Linux. You can put that in anyway. So I will say I will untick that and go next, and here it comes. Yes. So it's extracting, it's installing, all the usual things that that Windows programs do. So I'm going to guess it's got a lot of interesting features in here. It's taking a while. That's good. So what else? It's got Retro Arch, which enables you to play all the Super Nintendo and the old console and video games on there. It's got Play on Linux, which is a community access port to games for Windows for Linux. Okay, we don't want it to run automatically. All we want it to do is install to the default folder. And that is it. And now, it's just what's new in Photoscape 3.7. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this. And yeah, as you can see, it's, reasonably smooth and functions well and everything. Okay, so now Photoscape is down here. It's even called a Windows link. It's in the menu here as well. If you go to the Start menu and you go all the way down, it's got Wine, and it will be there. Yes, see, Photo Filter is the one that I installed earlier, and Photoscape is there. That's the one I just installed now. Okay, but I'll take it off the desktop again, and I will right click, and I will say Open with Wine Windows Program Loader. And now this is an exe program designed for a Windows operating system, and lo and behold, it'll come up. There's a lot of reasons why I prefer Linux. It is much more stable, and the flexibility to be able to take advantage of Windows, the massive amount of software available, is it makes it makes Windows kind of redundant. Let them have their behemoth monster with all kinds of security issues, and Linux will just quietly go along, and banks and insurance companies have migrated across to Linux, and now more and more people are too. More and more consumers are discovering that they are quite happy with a Linux. So I've never used this program before, but it certainly looks like it's working. So, without any issues. Now, no guarantees that everything is going to run on, but I'm sure all the regular programs that you'd expect would run. So, what else? Let me give you just a quick look at some of the sample programs here. So I put, in education, there's a memory game, educational suite of programs, Hangman, desktop planetarium, music education, navigation and maps, two planetariums. Okay, in games, some games are pretty sophisticated. I'll click on this first one. It's just to give you an idea that these are like real games that you might actually enjoy playing. Age of Empires, Civilization, you name it. Like the graphics are good. The environment is immersive. Somebody could spend a lot of time on a game like this. All your social apps will run. There's like a messenger client, Facebook. What else? Graphics. So is good. Draw, Scribe is a program I use all the time. Wings 3D, 3D Modeler. Browsing the internet, you got all kinds of options. There's that Chromium. It's got Steam. If you want to play Steam games, you can log in there. There's lots of great Steam games that are playing on it on this computer. Let me show you. Let me show you. I'll open that up again. How to add or remove programs, right? So, and we were talking about Google Chrome. So let's have a look and see if it's there. Okay, so all you do is you go into the Start menu and add and remove programs. Here it is, and absolutely thousands of fascinating programs that you could download. Whatever your project is, you want to work on sound, there's sound editors. You want to work on movies, there's movie editors. You want to record a video like this, you can do that. All kinds of stuff. So let's see. We'll go to search, and we'll type in Google Chrome, and we'll see. If that comes up or not. Oh, there it is. See, the popular and trusted web browser by Google. Alright, so to install this, we put a tick mark beside it, one pending operation, and we say apply. So, I mean, there's one nice feature about Manjaro is the package management, and that's very important for Linux to, make installations smooth, because originally it's command line, and you can still use the command line interface to install programs. Okay, so go ahead and commit, do it. Admin, that's the password, and off it goes. So it is building Google Chrome right now. It's doing everything else for it. I mean, once upon a time, Linux, installing programs on Linux was a little more complicated. And some programs might actually be a little more complicated than this to install. But for the most part, if you want to do something, you can probably do it on this computer. And at a fraction of the cost for a comparably fast computer. And a really disappointing selection of newer computers when you go into like a place like Best Buy and all that. It's just really hard to find a quality computer these days, which is another reason why I'd rather fix up an old one. And then there's no guarantees that if you buy a new one, it's not been refurbished anyway. It happened to people that I know. They have showed me computers that they got assuming they were brand new, and the top is spray paint, and it's totally clearly a refurbished older PC, just repurposed. And there's factories that do that too. That they'll strip old computers apart and rebuild them if they get enough. Whatever. It's not just IT geeks like me that do this one at a time. It's as a hobby. It's a big business. So this is working. I haven't. I'm not sure how big this is. I haven't, installed this in this yet. And but the bigger it is, the longer it might take, and there might be other constraints. Whatever. So probably could have just navigated to it on the internet and found it there through a browser window. But the add remove software utility is pretty good at this sort of thing. So it is taking a while. This is a multitasking computer, and with 4 gigs, you could do something else. What would you like to see? We could do the RetroArch utility, maybe. Where would that be? That would be RetroArch. Wow, that's working. We will check that out. So there's what RetroArch looks like. So let's go load content. Select which content to start. Collections. Music video, no playlist. Oh yeah, we don't have that. Hmm. Select file. Okay, we're going all the way back now. Main menu. Alright, so let's go to load core. Select which core to use. Oh yes, okay. Start directory not found. Oh, maybe we gotta update the online updater first. Yeah. Update. Okay, so we want to content downloader. Thumbnail updater. Try that first. Okay, so this is just refreshing all the information there. We want to play something, right? So, what do we got? Amstrad. We got VTech, Tomb Raider, Sony PlayStation 3, Sega, Nintendo, all kinds of stuff on here. Doom, Commodore 64. Anybody wants to check out those old Commodore 64 games? Oop, here we got a message here. Let's take a look. Oh, no, it's still working. Wow. It's a big package. Okay, well, let's, used to play Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga, Commodore VIC-20, I used to play that. Try a Commodore 64 game. Okay, and we'll upload that. Downloading, extracting, Commodore 64. And that's thumbnails. Content downloader. Arcade. Alright. I've never used this before. DOS. I've used DOS before. Ages ago. Commander Keen. Root on Mars. Okay, load core. Well, I'm sure that would have to be played with a little bit. Well, it's still building. Compressing package. So it's working. I wouldn't want to interrupt it. RetroArch. I'll have to play with that more before I can show it to you. I've never used it before. I just thought you might like it, so that's why I put it on there. But, I mean, you know, somebody might like it if they figure out how it works. What else we got here? Okay, so we got Office programs, bill reminder, word processors, spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, Microsoft Excel Online, Office. I don't know what those are. Sweet Home 3D, PDF viewers, makers. What else? Space Simulator, Multimedia, Audacious, Rhythm Box, play and organize your music, VLC, shortcut video editor. Oh, here it comes. It's working, doing something. Running post-transaction. Looks like it's going to be done. Obviously, not all packages take that long to install. In fact, when I was setting up a lot of them, they were pretty fast. Did a whole bunch at once, and then very stably as well, without crashing and stuff that Windows is famous for. But I would much prefer to do all my computing in an environment like this, where the end user has a little more control and say in what happens, as opposed to a Windows system which doesn't give a general user administration privileges on their own computer. And in fact, Windows is a lease licensing agreement. They let you be a licensed user, but they don't actually want you tampering. But if you have virus software and it's tampering, then you want to have enough say in then being able to remove it. But you're not allowed to do that in a Windows machine. And they own, because it's a licensed agreement, that they technically own everything that you store on a Windows computer, and they do that so that they're not responsible if you lose it or for any consequences thereof. But yeah, it's not an environment that. Oh, okay, so it's finished. Okay, so that's great. All right. So what else do you want to see? Categories. So we go into categories. Let's pick something small, just to show you that not everything takes that long. There's tons of games, but how about if I said asteroids? Is there like asteroids? That was like a video game. There, okay, Vectoroids, right? Classical asteroids game. There you go. Asteroids while dropping this. Asteroid. Get okay. Well, we'll take the Vectoroids, and let's go ahead and now if there's any dependencies, if it needs to have folders that go with it, then it will tell you. Let's see there, to build, install, and we say commit, and then off that goes. Building Vectoroids. Wow, this is a 30-minute video. If you're still here, I'm amazed. Okay, so I see that this is another one. I guess it depends on which type of install platform it is and all that stuff. So, okay, so just head in here now. Google Chrome on a Linux machine, I can tell you right away, has a couple of advantages. But Firefox is getting better, so I mean that's not a bad alternative either. Where are we here? Why isn't that menu coming up? Because it is reserving the menu for when that's finished. That's right. It's already there. Remember it got to the very end, and then, yeah, it's already in the cleanup phase. It is already in the cleanup phase. Okay, we'll let that do its thing. We'll wait patiently. Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's probably a lot more fun to play games and install them. I should be trying out a couple of these a little bit more. Transaction successfully finished. Good. Okay, so we'll close that for now. I'll go back into the start menu, and I'm going to look for Vectoroids, the program I just, okay, there it is. And we're going to press play, and voila. It looks very similar to the old computer game that, I used to play ages ago. Loud. Turn the volume down a little bit. So, I mean, hey, I get lucky here. Okay, I'm not going to keep playing that. Okay, Google Chrome, yes. So Google Chrome for a while there, it was neat for a Linux system because it came bundled with a Netflix player. So if you wanted Netflix, you didn't need Silverlight. But I believe now that has changed. So let's go Google Chrome. There it is. Access the internet. We'll go ahead and open the first run. Sometimes it asks you for an account and all that stuff. Application wants you. No, I don't want that. Okay, make Google Chrome. No, I don't want that. Automatically send. No, I don't want that either. Now, I'm not a privacy expert, but one of the nice, like I'm not paranoid or anything, but one of the nice features about Linux is it uses bandwidth so inefficiently. So like if you're like on a metered laptop, or if you're trying to play on the internet or do anything on the internet with your phone, it doesn't use a lot of data. So if you start sending usage reports and all that stuff to Google, well then theoretically, wow. Well, if it's going to create it anyway, I'll put the same password that's on the computer. Okay, no, I don't want it to sync devices. I'm just trying to show you that it works. Ta-da! There it is. Yep. So, browsing is fast. It's useful. And, I don't know what else to show you, but I can tell you that if you're looking for a computer, it doesn't matter what you want to do with a computer. If you want to draw, if you want to make music, this is a great way to do it. The next tier up from here would be, used Windows system, bogged down, all that. That can be a lot of headaches. And that's one of the reasons why the computer market is the way it is, with limited selection. Next up from here is a Chromebook. People are very happy with their Chrome operating system. Some of those Chromebooks, not all of them, will run some, but not all, Android apps. And that opens up a whole new network too. But they have issues too, and they're mass produced and all that. And sometimes these older, really expensive PCs are worth more. They're solid architecture, designed to last. When Sisu gives out a warranty, a computer, we give like 90-day, hardware and warranty. But yeah, by all means, there's no reason why this wouldn't last for another 10 years. It was built to last. You keep the dust out of it if you can, So, anyway, I think I've rambled on enough here. It's 33 minutes into this video, and I hope that's a suitable demonstration for how it works. I will log this one off. I will upload to YouTube that video, and if you're interested, call the number sisutimmins@gmail.com or call the owner, business owner, and say, hey, this is exactly what you're looking for, and I'm sure you'll be very pleased with it. Yep, it's a great little computer. All right, so I'm going to shut this down and sign off and say thanks very much for watching.